Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Round 5 about to begin. How you doing, Coop?
Fantastic. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars Unlimited. It's like energizes me.
That's good. That's good. You've come to the right place then. I need that energy. I find sometimes I have moments where I'm kind of like, oh, I'm having a hard time with this. I think the match that almost broke me was the 90-minute match we called in Minneapolis. That was rough. I was so glad to have Bobby there to carry me through that. It was rough, man. That was a tough one. We got a good one for you guys. If you know the local Texas scene, you know these two gentlemen. You're going to be looking at Hunter and Trent. Trent last weekend, literally a PQ victory down in Houston. With this deck. I asked him this morning. We were joking about it earlier on stream. He literally said he had not changed a single card. So we might. I mean, he's 3-1 though. So he's already got a loss coming in. So let's show you guys where everybody's sitting. Here on the left hand side of your screen, this is Hunter. Oh, they're well into this. I need to get to the game. Forget this. They're like onto the game.
So we have another Vader yellow. The interesting again, starting with two 1-drops on turn 1. This time he has I don't know the name of that, the black, villainy
Oh, that's the
card.
Droid Starfighter.
Yeah, he has the Droid Starfighter. Trent has the Ground Sentinel, which will probably be useless this game. And then resupply. So very different start from the prior game in terms of like Vader.
Yeah.
But Vader doing what Vader doing, but his opponent responding differently. And here comes that 3-resource AT hauler to look at that oppressive space board. And then, of course, this turn, Trent goes up to 5 resources, and he has the ability to flip Qi'ra, throw damage on things, and overwhelming barrage, which is exactly what he's going to do. Immediately put 2 damage on the stolen hauler. I think it's rounded down, so the hauler should have 2 damage on it.
Okay, sorry. Cleaning out some with the judges there. We had a little bit of damage come through. Let's fix that.
Real quick to clarify, Qi'ra's ability is rounded down, right?
Let's double check. I'm pretty sure. When she deploys. Yeah, I'll put her up for you.
Yeah. So that should have 1 less damage on it. So that should have been at 2. That's 3. She's at 6. That's 4, 5, 6. He has enough anyway. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Just realizing that should be a showcase Qi'ra. Let's fix that up.
Yeah, and as I said, he set up the overwhelming barrage turn with Qi'ra. Oppressive.
I mean, that's what Qi'ra wants to do, especially in this matchup, because you could just clean Vader out almost completely.
Yeah, the interesting difference, right? Last matchup.
That's not a tie advance. Sorry. Push the wrong button.
Last matchup trying to put out some type of giant capital ship and then overwhelming barrage on that. This, Qi'ra has it baked into her flip, right? You flip, you damage a bunch of stuff, play the overwhelming barrage, bing, bam, boom.
Easy.
But the pressure does not let up.
I don't think you can afford to let the pressure. If you put the foot down or you put your foot on Qi'ra's throat, I don't think you can afford to let it up. Like you just can't. I'm gonna step away and get the timer and come back and get that fixed.
Now at Trent taking the stolen AT hauler and putting it into play on his side of the field. Unless Hunter has an immediate way to deal with it, this is really good for the Qi'ra player. Having another overwhelming barrage target with 4 attack in space, really good. And then Hunter on the flip says, I also play green villainy, so here is my own overwhelming barrage. Yeah, and this is the disadvantage of playing your opponent's stolen ET hauler outside of if they waylay it or a new adventure is that they'll get it back on their side of the field. Is in this instance, like Trent took it, and now Hunter, when he kills it, he's going to play it again, and then Trent has to have another answer for it. And ironically, this is going to be right on the Vader turn. So, but another overwhelming barrage.
Dear God,
it's like this is the 3rd overwhelming barrage in the last 30 seconds.
Just insane.
But it's
and
like
now he's just going to clean Hunter out completely.
12th overwhelming barrage today.
You know, we talk about make them have it, but there are times that them having it just pisses you off.
It just pisses you off. You're damn right.
Pisses you off. Like, come on, man, really?
Yeah.
More with the shenanigans.
I will say it really is funny that like it exists in the game, a 1-cost counter, a neutral blue, just give it a shield. But no one ever plays. What is it? Moment of Peace.
Yes.
You know, I always think about that if I'm playing blue. If I'm really worried about overwhelming barrage, does this card stop it?
That's one of those cards that I've always looked at and thought, man, for one, this card has a ton of value, but it didn't feel like people started playing. It wasn't until they printed Covering the Wing in this latest set that people started like, oh, events that give shields are good. Maybe we should try that.
Yeah, I agree. We
had one, yes. What about second barrage? Sorry.
Don't tell them about 11sies. It's just interesting, you know, when you're playing these games, like how you bait these certain cards out and stuff, how you want to sequence it. And Overwhelming Barrage obviously is just oppressive in these matchups, but it's a vital tool you need because or else you lose the game.
That's the trick. Like, I think, you know, without any OBs, Trent's probably in real trouble here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
But with the OB, I think you almost wonder, and I guess we might see this in Game 2, because we're almost to Game 2, let's be honest. If Trent doesn't draw the OBs, how hosed is he? Like,
and of course, I'm sure there
curious.
are games where he just happened to not draw it, right? So. Plays Lurking TIE Phantom.
I mean, cleaning a Qi'ra player off the board before they get they're about to lay their 8th resource down is almost asking to get blasted.
It does. It definitely feels bad. And also the thing that Hunter was really thinking about was, do I want to play the stolen AT Hauler or not? Because if he thought about Laser Blast, he's going to steal it.
Yeah. He was contemplating, like, should I hold it? Do I play it? No. He's like, I'm so far behind, I got to try it.
Here comes big Daddy Vader, you know, the Gen Con exclusive from last year. Gorgeous. Trent is, like, notorious for playing them in his deck. I'm not even joking.
They're beautiful cards.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
But he definitely gets the use out of them. You know, he like plays them when every time they hit the table, they get a good look. And then Vader bringing in the Phase 3 Dark Trooper to lock down the ground. It's one of those times, like, you look at the board and it's not too bad, but then you look at the base.
Yeah, and it's bad. The board doesn't look good, but it's bad.
Yeah, at this phase in the game, Qi'ra having 13 life left, not threatening lethal on one attack, but flooding the board. And if he doesn't have the Super Laser Blast,
like, he needs to have the blast now, or he's in trouble.
The crazy thing is, if he does have blast, him blasting and then taking the hauler, oof, it's so rough.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to have it, but he's also sitting on lethal, right?
I wonder if Hunter.
Hunter's got to have an answer.
Strike. He had it right away. I was going to say, I wonder if he has the surprise strike, or if he's going to Mining Guild tie.
The problem is that the Sentinel deals with he only needed to hit for 3, and he had it. So Trent had exactly lethal damage in the ground arena, and there it is. There's Game 1. Oof. OBs, man. How many times? I mean, how many? You know, back in Denver, Ian and I joked about running a triple dark raid counter, right? And you know, take a shot at tequila every time somebody plays triple dark raid, right? It was a running joke. I think we hit 16 on day 2, 16 triple dark raids. It was insane.
That's alcohol poisoning.
It almost was. And of course we weren't actually drinking. It was a joke. But the point is that it was so ridiculous. You almost get the sense, like, whenever you see, like, Villain Green, and you very commonly see Villain Green, you know they're going to have the OBs in there.
Yeah.
And it just becomes so kind of silly. Kind of silly.
Playing against it is very interesting because it's like on the 5 resource turn, it's relevant, but it's relevant every turn after that. So you'll have, as long as you have a unit in play, you can overwhelm barrage any turn after that. And a lot of times, it's not the early overwhelming barrage that cinches it for him.
I have an idea. I think I know maybe what it is that's causing this echo problem. Let's see. No, that shouldn't be it. That's 100% not it. Yeah, those are both working correctly. Chat saying, somebody in chat basically saying, I can't wait for OB to rotate out. I kind of agree. I'm looking, I mean, admittedly, again, I love playing Villain Green. I know how good the card is, but I'm still kind of ready for it to go away. I kind of really am. It's kind of silly. Oh, I didn't put standings up now. It's round 4. Let's put some standings up. Oh, it's round 5. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, head judge is literally sitting here eating his lunch. He's like, he's giving me the 5 fingers. I'm like, oh yeah, it is round 5, but I can still download standings from round 4. That's what my brain is thinking. If I go download the round 4 standings, I can update the ticker bar with the standings. So I'll mess with that.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to the banter between Hunter and Trent. Clearly, they're friends. They know each other. This is not like they're not any strangers to sitting across the table from one another. But still, hearing Hunter, talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, build it. Add the rest of your board in. I'm gonna, do a mill strat.
I'm just gonna wipe you out anyway."
Yeah, just kind of just talking back and forth. It's nice to see.
I'll just casually wipe you out anyway. It's fine. All right, let's do.
Cited in my vigilances.
All right, let's fix this up. All right, chat. I'm gonna keep looking for this echo that you guys are hearing. I apologize. I in between rounds I went and pulled up the live stream and rolled it back and I couldn't find it. So what I'll do is I'll go back and try to find out when you guys are seeing it here and see if we can figure it out. It's a good question. Someone in Twitch chat asking what leaders I'm looking forward to in the next set. We'll talk about that maybe between rounds if we've got to kill time. We'll focus on the games and then we'll have some conversations about what might be later on.
Trent has a fantastic hand for Qi'ra. He's curving out beautifully. He has the turn 2 super laser technician. So the interesting thing about the Hylabon here is that it's now a source of aggro that's not going to be answered for the rest of the game.
It doesn't have a good answer.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3 damage. And now if you look at the amount of damage in play, Trent is out racing. That won't be that way for a while. But one thing I find with Qi'ra is if you can start by going early damage, you then force your opponent to react to you. And your opponent now is worried about their life total as opposed to setting up trying to set you into a trap or trying to counter you. So it's very interesting to see. And also he's going to retain initiative. Yeah, playing the 4-1 here is really good.
Trent has initiative?
Yes.
Oh, I sure wish they'd put the token on his side of the board. That would make me super happy.
It only says it really big in gold. So
yeah, when I see 2 initiative tokens, and one of them is very clearly in the initiative counter position on Hunter's side of the board. That's very easy for me to go, huh?
So now here's another nuance of Qi'ra that makes her one of the best overwhelming barrage or flip leaders in the game. She can activate and then kill the super laser tech, and then she goes up to 5 resources.
Yep.
Which normally you wouldn't be able to do because your opponent would need to have a unit in play. So by her doing that, now she can flip this turn.
Yep.
Which in of itself isn't that big, but that also means that next turn, giant overwhelming barrage.
Yep, could be a thing. Did get 4 in there with the eager.
So now Trent right now is looking and considering if he should deploy or not, because if he deploys and then Hunter plays something, less damage gets dispersed on the board.
Yep. I'm also curious as to what else he's got in his hand there.
So
you got a glimpse of it earlier, but I have not.
He had a devastating gunship as well as a Darth Vader.
Ooh, that's going to be a good card.
Those were the 2 cards I didn't see from what he had. Those are cards I did see from what he had. The rest I don't know. He has his own Eager Escort Fighter.
His own Eager there.
The interesting thing about Eager Escort Fighter is that was a card that very early on, Geo he loved it. He was really onto that.
That's Victor 2. Okay, had to look.
And then now we're seeing it's just in abundance. Look, Hunter played it, Trent played it. It was played last round. It was played around before that. It's a good answer.
It's the second time it's done that to me.
Now it really comes down to this: does he have the overwhelming barrage or not?
Hold on.
The funny thing is, if he does have overwhelming barrage, I actually think it's just better to play it first than the Hylabon. Hylabon, however you say it.
Hylabon's how I would say it. Maybe that's not correct, but that's how I would say it.
Hylabon. There's that devastating gunship. The good thing about the devastating gunship, obviously, it's every time you play it, you're going to kill that 4-1 every time. No problems. And the other thing about devastating gunship makes it good is that grit.
Okay. Coming with the Sanctioner's shuttle here. Pick him up.
So now when he flips Qi'ra, he will heal the damage off and just remove the shield. And the devastating gunship will have no damage on it.
I'll show you the gunship real quick while I'm thinking about it. There we go.
Mining Guild TIE Fighter is a fascinating card to me. I definitely feel like it really fit in Boba, set 1 Boba.
It 100% fit in that deck. I love playing it in that deck.
But in other decks, like this is a way to get gas back, right? Like you're going to draw a card because what else are you going to do? You're playing so many cards in your hand. But also, again, it's easy to kill. But if your opponent doesn't have the answer, they don't have the answer.
Yep. The TIE swarm continues to grow here. TIE Factory go burr, as I like to say when you see this Vader.
And so right now, again, if he has Overwhelm Barrage, the entire board gets shifted.
I mean, very, very quickly, too. Because he's only got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10 points of health and spread out over 6 units. I think that last card might have been an OB. I think he's contemplating.
And then if you look on
Hunter's sitting
Hunter's
on one.
side, Hunter's
2. He's sitting on at least 1.
He's got.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Hunter's sitting on 2 OBs and 1. I forgot the name of it, but it's the shuttle that comes to play with a shield, and then you can move a non-unique upgrade.
Oh, the ST-149. Yeah.
That card is very good in a lot of situations.
Very good against this Qi'ra. He can steal the shield.
Specifically against this Qi'ra, yes. That's where I was going. He gets to steal the shield.
Well, he leaves Vader with only 3 puny TIE Fighter tokens and cleans out the rest. Frees his Hylabon. We're going to spend 4 from Hunter for the ST-149.
And then you could choose where it goes. I just think that card it's very good utility.
He's going to shield a TIE Fighter token. So now we're going to deploy Qi'ra. That pops the shield off the shuttle.
So, but it shouldn't pop the shield off the TIE because it's rounded down, so it would be 0.
Maybe. Hang on a minute. Let's make sure. I'm gonna let the judge go check that. Okay, we'll let them know. So we have 1 to base there from that TIE Fighter.
4 to base.
1, 2, 3, 4. He flipped Qi'ra, right? But then the TIE should take 0 damage.
So
but that doesn't work. Should take.
Oh, is it because
It rounds down. Isn't that how Qi'ra works? Let's look at her real quick. Heal all damage, then deal damage to each and equal to half its HP damage. So it takes 0 damage.
Yeah. So
it takes
the shield should not pop.
Yeah, the shield should not pop. It takes 0 damage.
They in the prior game it didn't matter because of the math, but when she flipped Qi'ra, it did 3 damage to the 5 butt that Hunter had in play, the AT hauler.
Yes.
It should have done 2. But it didn't matter because the next attack was enough to.
Okay, so they've got it correct now. The shield does stay. Okay. Okay, so now the gunship's going to attack into it to kill it. That definitely matters, and then he can smash a TIE Fighter and to get rid of it.
I felt like that was extremely relevant based on the board state.
It is actually, because Vader. I'm sure he wanted to deploy Vader onto the shielded TIE. He wasn't able to do that, but it does let him clear the gunship, which feels about as good. And does swing in for 6 there? Yeah.
And of course, he has all of this in play going into the next turn.
Exactly, and adds some gas. Yep. Definitely adds some gas there with the First Order ties.
Yeah.
And it is going to be big.
Oh, there's the SLB. We're just going to clean it up and start over, ladies and gentlemen.
Now Hunter will draw a card, and then he's going to try to repopulate the board.
Right. He's got to rebuild. Now, if you play Vader yellow, this is going to happen to you in almost – and honestly, you're going to have a plan for how you're going to deal with this. Like, you know this is going to happen.
You know it's going to – yes.
The hauler is a great place to start. And a TIE Fighter. That seems pretty good.
Oh, this is interesting. Hunter's
Bazine.
So the worst card in his hand right now is Power of the Dark Side, ironically.
Yeah.
So the other.
Yeah, the Power of the Dark Side doesn't do him very much right here.
It's like the worst card in Trent's hand.
I killed the TIE Fighter. Like I would have killed it off with a Walker too. I'm on the wrong set. There we go. I'll show you Bazine real quick, just as a refresh. There we go. So we know he had the Power of the Dark Side he kept, and then he got what was the other card he kept?
He had Power of the Dark Side, Reinforcement Walker, and Devastating Gunship.
Okay, so we got to keep the gunship. Okay.
Yes, so he has the Devastating Gunship in his hand and the Power of the Dark Side if he didn't resource it. Well, they haven't gone to next turn, so.
No. There we go. Trent mistakes. Trent's still making resourcing decisions. There we go.
All right. Let's see here.
So that's a great play.
That's a great pull for Trent. It's going to
So,
clear the TIE Fighter.
Snoke has been interesting, right? Like, he obviously was the answer to Han Yellow and decks like that for on the ground based.
Yep.
And then he kind of went away for a little bit. What I mean by that, he wasn't prevalent in the meta.
Yeah.
The pilot meta became so tall that he wasn't able to shrink down enough for him to be relevant, and then enter going wide strategies,
Yep.
right? So now the interesting thing is that this would only deal
4.
4.
Yep.
So he
That's
has
a 2/3 AT hauler
Yep.
right now.
Yeah, 4 to base.
But if he doesn't do that, then Qi'ra can activate and put the shield on onto Snoke,
Yep.
and he has probably no way to kill Snoke
Yep.
at that point.
Hunter way ahead now. He's got Trent down to single digits, and we know one reinforcement walker in the trash. So what other kinds of restore might Trent have in that deck? You don't generally see them come in with things
If
like
he has-
Corvus or whatnot.
If he has any vigilance,
Vigilance
that would
might
be
be probably
key.
the only big ones.
Yeah, that would be the key to him gaining 5 health.
Hunter's got a pretty good hand too because he's still sitting on another OB.
So now here's
and
another.
hauler.
Yes. So the other thing is he seems to have like both the defensive answer and the pressure.
Yeah, going to come in with the gunship. It looks like.
Three. The double OB, the man.
So now it's that karma going back in the opposite direction.
And, yep, there's
Trent had it
Yep.
last game.
Yep.
Hunter has it this game.
And so now it's a 6 hit the base there from that stolen AT hauler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 HP remaining for Trent.
And there's that
And
second
there's the
hauler.
second hauler. I feel like the second hauler is going to be the
Linchpin?
the linchpin here. He's
Yeah.
only because Trent could easily kill one of these things.
Sure.
But I don't think he's got an answer for both unless he's
got
sitting on another
another
blast.
super laser
Blast is all he's got. If he's it's probably the only out that I can think of, or maybe a Devastator.
I
A
just
big
wanna-
green Devastator would also lock this
I
up.
just want to shout out the showcase for the Vader showcase specifically. I don't think there's any showcase that has better shadowing.
It's very good.
And the glow effect of the red on his armor
It's
is
pretty.
so subtle and
It's pretty.
perfect. So I just want to shout
All right.
that out. It looks like we're going
Trent's
to game
gonna scoop.
3.
We're going to game 3. Your first game 3 of the day.
And as I said, these guys play fast. It's 32 minutes.
Yeah.
They've shuffled, they've cut, they played one game, they've shuffled, they cut, they played 2 games, and now
we're 20. We're like 28 minutes in, 18 minutes in, right?
yeah. So we're
Yeah,
going.
Yeah. I'm just realizing this is in your way. I need to get that out of your way. Let's move this and do that. There we go. Echoing between the players. So you're saying between the players. The players are on the same microphone. I think the only thing I can think of, I have a possibility that might clean that up.
My right ear just went dead.
Correct.
Okay.
You're correct. You should only hear the players now in one ear instead of both. But I'm not sure if that echo might be cleaning that up. What I'm trying to figure out is where the echo's coming from, right? I'm hearing it in my ears, but it's only routed to one place in the stream. You guys, there shouldn't be any echo. Still there.
I don't hear an echo.
Well, we don't hear it, but we're not hearing what they're. We should be
gotcha,
hearing
gotcha.
exactly what they're hearing. That's so weird to me that there's any echo at all. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. For now, I'm going to mute it and just save you the pain, and I'll deal with it later. Oh, that's not working. Hold on.
Yeah, so
Boop. There we go. That should solve it.
some of the strategy involved in sideboarding, really interesting. Sometimes it's simply mind games.
Yeah.
I've done this countless times where I going into game 2, I board something in, and then going into game 3, I make it look like I'm boarding something out, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I've also done the inverse, where game 1, I know my opponent thinks I have something in my deck, but it's not, and I leave it out, and then game 3, I board it in. So if we go to a game 3. So sideboarding is a ton of nuance and strategy. I think because this is a newer game, only a year and a half old-ish, that there's a lot of like deep strategy nuance that kind of gets overlooked, in terms of like community talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how this game is going to go. These games have been quick, and they've been aggressive.
We joked about how impactful OB was
Yep.
in those games, but I almost feel like it felt like it decided the match to me.
Both matches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like both
Yes.
games. Like thus far, it feels like whoever draws them at the right time or whatever is going to win. And there's a part of me that kind of hates that. I kind of hate that. It feels like you don't.
There's a part of me that if I was playing Qi'ra as Trent, I would throw that back immediately.
Well, he certainly is thinking about it.
2 Power of the Dark Side.
Like you don't want those early.
2 overwhelming barrages in
Yeah.
your hand. That's a really bad start.
Yeah, like you need something on the board.
And then he had a Super Laser Technician and a Phase 3 Dark Trooper. No turn 1 play. I think that's almost suicide. You got to obviously the ideal is Inferno 4.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the space unit, that's your ideal. Put it into play.
Throw a shield on it. Maybe if it
Next
survives.
turn, yeah.
Presuming it survives, because if I'm Vader, I'm looking for a way to kill that thing.
Yes. So far, every turn 1 play we have seen so far has been a 1x.
Yeah.
Or the 2-1.
Right.
So nothing. So it's not. Maybe you can't get a shield on it because the action economy, but you will get a 2-for-1.
Yep.
You know, you'll kill one, then it's going to be around, and then you'll get your double scry. You'll get the double when played, and then the when defeated effect. So you'll get to scry, look at a couple cards.
Okay, guys, I'll give you the 12-second version of what's happening. There's a single microphone on the table. That's it. That picks up everything in about a 10 to 12-foot radius. That's it. So trust me, this is not my first stream. This is also not my first stream with this exact hardware setup. So don't worry about it. I'll solve it later. All right. First order ties on the left and Dr. Pershing on the right. And it did it to me again. I think I know why.
There's another really good combo I'm sure everybody knows with Qi'ra is that you play the Super Laser Technician on turn 2. Then you have Dr. Pershing activate, deal the 1 damage Super Laser Technician. It allows you to draw the card from Dr. Pershing, but also puts the resource in play for free.
How did this happen?
So it's this play is very standard for Qi'ra.
Yep.
And next turn she's ready to flip, and that also means Overwhelm Barrage is online a turn early.
So we did Pershing, and he needed to resupply here.
The Super Laser Technician.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, and then murdered it to draw. Right.
Very standard Qi'ra play. The other thing that I think is really good about this, of course, he wants Overwhelm Barrage in the situation, period. But the other thing that's really good about this is the devastating gunship on 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is something that maybe not talked about enough, and that is Qi'ra, when she flips, makes just about anything from 6 down in range for devastating. 5 down for devastating gunship.
For the gunship, just pop it like a balloon when it hits the board.
So, and when she ramps, there's nothing that will be in play unless it has a shield that devastating gunship won't kill. And here it comes, the parade.
Yeah, the double first order ties were a nice early pickup here for Hunter. It's going to allow him to push a lot of early damage.
Yep. It is. It's also going to allow, because of how many units he has, allow him to play organically. So attack. If you have an answer, I could attack with something else. I could create a token to allow him to see everything that the Qi'ra player is doing.
Yep.
So now, because of that, he doesn't. You're hoping to avoid any surprises, but also you're trying to play into the resources that are available for your opponent. And Hunter gets to see his hand.
So we're going to play a Bazine here, and my zoom needs a little bit of work. I'll work on that in a minute. Power of the Dark Side, Reinforcement Walker, Devastator, and Super Laser Blast. And an Architans.
To be honest with you, if I was Hunter, I would leave him with his hand. I would not have him discard, and that's exactly what he did.
I think that's exactly the right play, and none of those cards are going to be relevant for at least 2 or 3 rounds at a minimum.
Everything that says 7 and 8 on them, hold it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to kill you.
Exactly. If I do my job right, you'll be dead by the time those cards are relevant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't have an answer to Vader in your hand. That's what I was looking
exactly
for.
Exactly right.
I don't want to give you an extra chance to draw that answer.
Yeah. This is one of those nice matchups where Power of the Dark Side is largely irrelevant.
Yes. I've noticed that Power of the Dark Side became less relevant when the pilots became more relevant because the pilot's having armor.
Yes.
So outside of Chewie, even Luke, you playing the Power of the Dark Side and kill my Luke piloted unit, and then the Luke comes into play on the ground. So I'm getting that value. I'm going to probably claim still push damage. So it's just I think that lowered the value of Power of the Dark Side. This is looking really grim for Trent in this game 3.
Well, you say that, but he's at 6. He's going to Qi'ra ramp this round. He's going to go to 8 next turn. That's going to allow him to ambush in the Architans.
He would most likely need a Super Laser Blast, though.
It's very possible.
So it's looking like him having 12 on him. Hunter has 8 damage and 7 damage in play. So that's 19. That's only.
It should be 3, 6, 9, 8. It should be 9 damage because the first orders have raid 1.
Then so he's at 12. That puts
So
him
it'd
to
be
21.
Yeah.
Then next turn a Vader flip swing. That's game.
I mean, it's getting bad at that point for sure.
So what the follow-up response here from both players is vital to see what we're going to do.
We're exploiting something? The
Yep,
Geonosis.
bouncing.
Hunter's determined not to let him ramp this round.
And then he just obviously replays it. And then he surprise strike the Pershing to not allow Pershing to kill
it.
The super laser technician.
And now he's because now Qi'ra can't kill it because Qi'ra has no resources to spend for the ability.
And also, this is like for next turn, Bazine becomes a threat.
Yeah.
Bazine, if you want to get that extra resource, you have to take the action to do it. And in doing so, I could swing at your base.
Yeah.
So it looks like Hunter
7 more to base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He should be at 19 on. Yep, got it. As much as I dislike the damage pad things, like in purpose for the camera, they actually work okay.
Yeah, once you get them broken in, because when you get them out of the box,
the dial's really
crazy stiff.
The dial's really okay. I've never actually used
crazy
one.
stiff. But once you use it, I would say for I don't know, like 6-7 games, you activate it. It smooths out and it's better. The biggest issue that I have with it is that it's meant to replace the health in the corner, but when you're on the opponent side, you can't see the health looking over.
Yep, there's the blast.
It's like obscured, and then now we're going to wipe the board. And of course, just like last game, Hunter needs to repopulate the board. Which, looking at his hand, it looks like he has the units to do it.
Looks like he's gonna. Yep, we're gonna go to ground. He's gonna go to ground and push 5 more damage.
Yeah, and then also want to dual lane the threats, right? So we're going to go ground, and he's going to end the turn by filling up space.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Trent purposely kept Qi'ra as a response because he probably most likely has no immediate answer to Vader. He didn't have either a Vader or a Maul in his hand. And we know that Hunter got to see his hand, got to pluck exactly what he wanted out of it. So as we come to the later turns where that life is dwindling, you want to play that Reinforcement Walker, but will it kill you?
Hunter doesn't quite have lethal. He's a damage short. He's showing 5 on board. He needs 6. We're going to no
glory to 4-1.
Yep. That feels like a terrible play, but I mean, you've got to do what you got to do to stay in the game. And Trent just fighting for his life here. Going to take 1 more damage.
Now Hunter knows what's in his hand, so he knows. Excuse me. He knows if he's gonna get that value or not. Yeah, there's the power of the dark side.
He burned 8 resources to kill 2 dinky little cards. That just feels terrible.
The funny thing is he's still clinging. So
he is.
Now if he has the Arquintons and the Arquintons takes out.
Now you've got Victor Leader, Clone Combat Squad, and a tie.
Yeah, the Clone Combat Squad. The Victor Leader would leave 4 in play. You just have 1.
Okay, we're going to there's the Arquitons. I love this card. I'm so glad it's starting to find a home in the game.
Trent's like, give me that card.
Yeah, no, you don't. That didn't go to this card. Well, that's mine now. Thank you. Yep.
He's like, I'm going to need that for next turn.
It's like that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where he puts his foot on the cannon. We're going to need that. Don't throw that overboard. We're going to need that.
Is there rum?
Yeah, where's the rum?
Arquinton should have damage on it.
Yeah,
which Hunter
not much, but it should have some.
Yep.
6. What did he kill?
He killed the 4-1.
Oh, it would have been a 5-1.
Because of that,
5-2 actually, but yeah. Victor Leader puts 2 more in. Down to 3 HP is Trent. Going to be 2 more here from the tie. Down to 1.
Make a dude. And then what is the equalizer again? Overwhelming Barrage. If he has it.
Going Bazine. He wants to make sure. What do we got? He's got to kill the Reinforcement Walker. Yeah, you have to.
There's the Maul. Now Trent draws a card. And then he's going to draw 2 more.
Yeah.
So there's an Overwhelming Barrage is a very viable answer here. And
absolutely.
Let's see.
All right. At this point, any one of these units that leaks past Trent ends the game.
So Snoke is a super
OB. That's what he needed.
So he had multiple answers. Snoke was one of them.
You're right. Now that I think about Snoke would have done it.
Snoke was one of them. Overwhelming Barrage, clearly the obvious favorite, but also another super laser blast, which would have been his second.
Yep.
So there's quite a few options, few outs, but again, Hunter has a chance to populate the board.
Going to ambush the Eager E in to get rid of the Arquitons threat.
So now this is always interesting, from this point.
There's them all.
So now the reason why I was saying is interesting is because if he attacks with the Inferno 4, he gives up a possible offensive attack. But then by playing by playing Maul, it allows him to, again, dual lane threat, but also trade in space. But now he already has the ground unit in play, and that is an overwhelm Mirage target for next turn.
Yep.
And if he goes ground, kill it.
Yep.
There's nothing Vader has that could withstand the Maul
Hunter
shot.
was able to get in a fighter attack that round. What did he attack with? Didn't the OB start the round?
Yeah,
he started the round.
I thought Trent was at 1.
I'm just not sure how. I'm not sure how Vader was able to make that tie.
This popped back in.
You can actually. You shouldn't hear the players at all.
Oh no, the players know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As long as you can hear me, don't worry about me. You can hear me. You shouldn't hear the players.
I definitely hear you.
Yeah, exactly. I've got them muted.
Look at that devastating gunship.
Ooh, he's got it. Oh, he ambushed the scout. Oh, you're right. He did ambush the Eager E. That's what let him make the tie. Thank you, chat, reminding me of these things. Busy turns mean I sometimes get caught up pushing buttons and don't always see what's on the board.
So now, remember the game with Jack, right? The sequencing that he did was so good to trap his opponent. And right now, with Trent being on so low life, that's what Hunter's trying to do.
Absolutely.
He's trying to figure out the sequencing where I need to make you overcommit or commit just enough resources where you can't have the answer to my threat.
Yep.
And right now, this card, I mentioned it before, fantastic. He didn't get to use his ability to steal a shield.
But the fact that it comes in shielded.
With the shield.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty sure Trent claimed right there, and then Hunter immediately slams down the lurking tie. So 2 really good answers to a lot of the different shenanigans that Trent might have.
I think
stave off death.
Devastator is the only possible answer to have to not die.
He had one earlier in the game in his hand. He plays the Snoke that clears the lurking, but doesn't. But he only needs one damage from the shuttle, and that thing is a 3/4, so it hits for 1. And that's enough.
Very good game.
GG.
We just witnessed about half hour, 35 minutes of gameplay of almost a masterclass of back and forths.
Yeah, that was really well
Trent
done.
and Hunter they know the play lines, they're pushing the pace, and they know how to put their opponent in check. They know how to dual lane. They're ready to go. And they're just talking right now, and you could tell the frustration with Trent getting Bazine multiple times, getting but it is what it is.
It is. I mean, that's the game. I also thought, a couple of things that you mentioned at the time. There are times, players are usually very eager to deprive themselves deprive their opponent of something when they play Bazine. But sometimes the right answer is look and decide, no, you're fine with that. You're fine with that. Yeah. You don't see it often. But I agree with you. It was the right play for Hunter 100%. Here early in Game 3 to look and realize all of these high-cost cards were gumming up Trent's hand. He wasn't going to see him for a while. Yeah. Just leave it and push damage, and that's exactly what he did.
The funny thing is I actually believe the next card was he got rid of the next card wasn't something that Trent could play right away, but that extra dig, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
No, you don't know. Like you don't. It's like anything else. You're making the best decision you have in the moment with the information you have at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't predict the future. You have to play the game you have in front of you.
Yeah.
So that was a great match. Matches like that, calling a match like that, watching a match like that is so much. Really makes this enjoyable, right?
Absolutely.
And to me, it's one of the things that really highlights what makes Unlimited such a great game. Is that back and forth, the chess match?
Yes, absolutely.
The almost chess-style mechanics of I go, you go, that is missing from so many other TCGs in the genre.
I think that Unlimited did such a great job of cannibalizing all of these mechanisms from various games throughout the last 30 years. Like, for example, Verse System that came out forever ago was a Marvel card game and DC. So the first set was Marvel Origins, second set DC Origins. The thing that they did that was completely innovative for the time is 2 cards a turn.
Okay.
So you started with that, and anything could be a resource.
Okay.
So
they were the kind of the pioneers of that. I didn't know that.
So there were cards you can play from the resource row. They were specific, but you could also usually play them from your hand instead, but they would be a one-time use from your hand, and then they go to the discard pile. If you played it from the resource row, you just flip it up.
Right.
And then you expended it.
Right.
But it's still a resource.
Right.
And I think that was the first mana fixing that actually worked, if that makes sense.
Right.
I love the way Unlimited adopted it.
Yeah.
Like that is, in my opinion, fantastic. Drawing the 2 cards, and this is the true innovation, starting an extra turn ahead. We don't go on one resource.
You don't start on one. You start on
so
two. You start on two.
Yeah. So obviously this in regard is so good for control.
Right.
Right. But obviously in this game, the action economy, if you did start on one, it's such a slow start.
I was gonna say, well, you end up just everybody. Okay, you probably just I pass, you pass. We both play a resource.
Yep.
My suspicion is, I mean, obviously I wasn't involved in the early days of playtesting this game. My guess is, originally, that's how the game was designed. You started with either nothing or one in play.
I think so. I think
and what they realized as they started playtesting was, well, the game didn't really start until 2, so why don't we just start at 2?
Yeah.
Why don't we just start at 2?
I do think the devs early on they did explain that, like exactly how you surmised.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, and they said that like 90% of the time it was pass.
Yeah.
So it's like, why start there? And then math-wise, it changes the dynamic by starting, because you're drawing 2 cards.
Right.
Starting on turn 1 and drawing 2 cards versus starting with the same amount of cards on turn 2.
Right.
So it actually changes quite a bit. It's a very innovative design. It's smart. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
But I agree with you. The back and forth, it's the tempo, the pacing of the game. I love it.
That's what drew me to Destiny all those years ago,
Yes,
right?
me too.
Was the way the mechanics worked in the game, and that back and forth. Okay, do I roll? Can I afford to roll this unit in? Okay, can I afford? You know, because sometimes it was like I got to get the dice in and get them out before I lose this unit.
The dice.
Lose the die on the board. And it was so well designed, and it was so much of that chess match, just like we just saw.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I love about what we just watched. We just watched these two guys play a chess match with different pieces from different and like same kind of info, but like different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's fun to try to put yourself in their head and go, all right, what do I do here? How do I think through this? How do I get there? And that's what makes, like, in my mind, sitting in this chair and looking over their shoulder going, yeah, I wouldn't do that. oh no, they knew something better than I did. Clearly they're better than I am. You know, like whatever. I love being able to commentate these matches.